Hello, my name is Keith Kramer, and I'll be the instructor for this class. This is Advanced Programming in C Sharp, and the focus of the class is going to be on C Sharp programming, Microsoft development environment, and building applications for the Microsoft infrastructure and the Microsoft .NET environment. For this class, we are going to be using a textbook. Actually, there's two textbooks. um, The course website will say this is our book, Visual C Sharp 2010 How to Program, and when I put in for the book order, this was the only book that was available. Well, basically at the end of March, beginning of April, this new textbook came out, Visual C Sharp 2012 How to Program, 5th edition. It wasn't available when we set up the class. It wasn't available for the book order. So as far as the website is concerned, if you go to the website, it's going to say this is the textbook. And for this class, you can use either textbook. If you get the Visual C Sharp 2010, that's going to be fine. If you get the Visual C Sharp 2012, the latest book, that's fine also. I gave you reading assignments in each textbook. So when you look at the syllabus, it will say, each week what the reading assignment is, and each week it'll show you the chapters in each textbook. Now, what's really different about the two textbooks is this textbook has a whole bunch of additional chapters on Windows 8 and Windows 8 Metro and Windows 8 application programming, specifically for the Windows 8 operating system. We're not going to cover that in this class. I mean, you can certainly read it in the textbook. It's not fair to most people because most of you don't have Windows 8. I don't even have Windows 8. I don't have Windows 8. I just ordered a new computer last week, and it's a Windows 8 computer, so it'll be my first look and play with Windows 8. Most of the industry isn't using Windows 8. It's Windows 7. People really don't upgrade to Windows 8 if they have existing software, especially Windows 7, which is a fine operating system. But when you buy a new computer, like I had to buy a new computer because I just needed one, I'm going to get Windows 8 with it, and I'm going to start using Windows 8. But the topics in here, actually, the Windows 8 topics aren't even in the physical textbook. There's a supplement to this textbook, not in the physical book. That is a PDF file that you can download, and that's the Windows 8 chapters. And we're not going to cover those because we're not going to do unique Windows 8 programming because the stuff you're going to do will be able to run on Windows 7, which is the industry standard. If you get the 2012 book, well, again, there's nothing Windows 8 in it specifically. All the Windows 8 stuff is in the supplemental PDF file. So either book, you can download the PDF file to get the Windows 8 information. This book and the topic that we're going to cover, the Windows C Sharp Advanced Programming, assumes that you know object-oriented programming, that you're familiar with either, say, C++ or you're familiar with Java, because we're going to teach you the syntax and the differences, and we're going to compare and contrast sometimes C Sharp to those other languages, because C Sharp is the flagship language for Microsoft and the Microsoft architecture and infrastructure. So if you're going to be, obviously you can do Visual Basic and C++ and many other languages of Microsoft, and we'll talk about .NET and the fact that .NET, again, is you write whatever language you like and you run the .NET runtime, the Microsoft runtime, versus the Java, where in Java you basically only run in the Java runtime, but you can use different versions of Java. Java is ubiquitous no matter where you run the Java, which isn't quite true. And then the C Sharp is a Microsoft-owned and controlled language, but there's also an industry standard for C Sharp that Microsoft has submitted to some industry boards. Now, they, of course, control the language. And the language itself is not the big deal with C Sharp. The big deal is the Microsoft libraries that augment the C Sharp programming for database, for Windows programming, for web programming, etc. So you'll learn as you go that the syntax of the language, is fine. You're going to learn the syntax. You're going to see it's very similar to the syntaxes of Java and C++. But you really learn the library. Learning the syntax is no big deal, but it's learning the Microsoft libraries. That's how you can build apps. That's how you learn the code. And so we're going to be, of course, learning the Microsoft development environment. We're going to be learning the language. We're going to be learning class libraries. The book itself has a companion website. The 2012 companion website's not even available yet. They say mid-June the companion website's going to be available. The 2010 companion website is available, and I have links in the syllabus to both. And the programs, you're going to write 5 programs. Every 2 weeks, you're going to write another program. And the grading is going to be, 70% of your grade will be based on the programs. I'm not going to give you exams or tests. I'm going to have actual evaluation based on you writing programs that have to function. I'm going to give you the assigned program. Everyone gets the same program. You work on them individually, not as a group. And you will be graded on how well you wrote the program to the spec, if your program works, etc., and the actual style of the program, your data structures, your syntax, and what you did in the program. So I'm going to look at every program. 30% of your grade is the discussion forum. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. The discussion forum means that each week I will post an online comment or question about a topic. You must post 1 original post to that topic and 3 responses to other people's posts, or more than 1 original post. 4 posts total you have to do to get full credit. It would be 30% of your grade. This is a graduate level class, so I'm expecting you to do some original research for these questions. These questions aren't just how I like something or what I think. It's like, go justify it. If you're going to say, something, you should be able to justify it by doing some original web research and posting links to either books or websites or whatever that try to back up your contention when you defend your position on these discussion questions. So that's the research part of the class, the graduate level part certainly. Learning the C# programming, and each program will get progressively harder as you go. The first program is really simple. We're going to do all types of programs. So we're going to start with like a console application. We're going to do the standard Windows client application. We're going to do a database application, so integrating an application with the database. We're also going to then go to the Windows, some new technology, some web technology for Windows, and we're going to start some web programming also in this class. So it's only 10 weeks. It's only 5 programs to do. I'm going to go through the entire textbook. We go through, there's supplemental chapters though. If you look at the back of the book when you get through the index here, there's like 7 or 8 supplemental chapters that are not actually in the physical textbooks, but they're actually online that you can download as PDFs. There's also some topics we're going to cover that are not in the textbook. For example, these textbooks don't cover threading, and the whole idea and concept of threading for programming is critical in modern programs, and Windows has a complete built-in threading library and class library. We're going to go through that. One of your programming assignments is going to be a threading assignment. None of that's in the textbook, so I'm going to have supplemental lectures and material for the threading, and you're going to have to do the threading information not in the textbook. I do kind of follow the textbooks, and I give you every chapter reading assignment. I give you when you have to do each assignment, when they're due, and when you actually submit the assignment. You're going to submit them online using LaTeX. My suggestion is zip up the entire directory, your entire development directory, source code, your binaries, not just your final executable, because that way when I grade your program, I can actually, if there's a problem, I can actually work in the source code, look at it, walk through the debugger and look at your actual program to see if there's issues or try to help grade it better. So it's to your benefit to zip up the entire program library, all the files, into a zip file when you submit them, and I have that in the instructions so that I can better grade them. I have an email address, the Brandeis edu address, and also a Yahoo address. I check it every single day. So if you have questions, comments, issues, you can post in the discussion forum, which I look at every day. You can send me email, and I'll look at that every day. And basically, I'm really looking forward to this class. If you don't know C# or don't know it very well, you should be confident in doing C# or feel confident in being able to create and do applications in C# after the class is over. If you're a C# expert, this class is going to introduce you to the syntax and language. We're going to go through some intermediate, and there's going to be some topics here you may not have done. But if you're already an expert at C#, then this class should be easy, and hopefully you can learn some of these new concepts, especially some of the web stuff. Now, again, the class is kind of a mix. We do console programming, we do Windows FAT application programming, and we do web programming. And an introduction to the language. Well, that's basically it. You should log on to the class every day and follow the modules every week and do your readings, stay up on your readings, work on the programs. Don't be lulled by the fact that the early programs seem easy. They don't seem really hard when you start, and you're like, oh, this is pretty easy. But the last programs get harder, subsequently harder. So my suggestion is, stay in it, stay up with the programs, and don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or comments. Thanks, and look forward to interacting with everybody online and on Late Fee on the Cloud.